Hi there, John O'Hurley here, and you are watching One to One on ToyShnip.com.
Hey everybody, it's Turco from ToyShnip.com here, joined with John O'Hurley. You may know him from Seinfeld, from SpongeBob. You have a plethora of stuff that you do.
Well, I've never heard my career called a plethora, but let's go with that.
So, obviously, Seinfeld is the big thing that a lot of people know you for in the beginning. Mm-hmm. How did that start for you?
I happened to have my a sitcom over on ABC called A Whole New Ball Game that was running through the latter part of 1995, way back then, and it was canceled on a Wednesday morning by ABC. They said, don't come to work. We pulled the plug on the show. That's the way they do it. I went out to dinner that night crying in my beer, trying to take the cancellation as personally as I possibly could, and during that time at dinner, Larry David's office had called the casting people and said, we heard John's series got canceled. We have this guest star. And it's a fun role, and we think he could kind of chew it up and have some fun with it. And I said no. I said I'm really kind of licking my wounds over getting my own series canceled, and I'm not in the mood to go guest star yet, So my ego was speaking for me. Next morning, my manager called me and said we didn't bother calling over there, so go on over there waiting for you. So I said, oh, all right. So I went over there, and they were the most disorganized show on television. They still hadn't finished the script. But they had a copy of the J. Peterman catalog and they just said, we want him to sound the way the catalog is written. And it's written in a style that is like a Hemingway adventure story about an Oxford button-down. And so as I was reading through it, it sounded a bit like a 40s radio drama combined with a little bit of a bad Charles Kuralt, and so that was the genesis of the character.
What was your favorite episode of Seinfeld?
I go back to the Friars Club episode where Rob Schneider was playing my hard of hearing assistant, and I thought that Elaine and Rob were having a little tete-a-tete on office time. And so I tried to play Cupid, and I walked into her office, and I thought that was the funniest. It was one of the greatest monologues that was never heard of because they cut it right out of the show. Again, the most disorganized show on television. It was always 10 minutes too long. I liked that one, but I also liked the wedding cake episode. I thought that. Because that also had the Frogger score in there, and I think between the wedding cake and the Frogger machine score, I think it was one of the best executed shows that we ever did.
So, how has Seinfeld affected your life?
Well, it hasn't affected my life as much as it affected a man named John Peterman's life. The owner of the real J. Peterman company. It's the greatest act of identity theft, and even to this day, this poor man who ran a very successful clothing catalog company can't go anywhere and sign his name and have people think that it's actually him. He's lost his identity, and I'm not giving it back.
So, as collectors here at Com, a lot of people collect stuff. Mm-hmm. Do you have any memorabilia from the show and that you've taken with you?
Let's see, a few things. I have some of the, old. I have my biography, the famous J. Peterman biography called "No Placket Required." I have one of the last remaining copies of that book. I have a few things, and obviously a lot of my clothing is Peterman clothing, so it's mine. And a lot of memory. And I actually have I have copies of my production scripts that are kind of fun, and I have my bobblehead now. Everybody has their own bobblehead, and I think they also have an action figure, J. Peterman action figure. If you can imagine anything more insufferable than that, I think it's an action figure because I'm holding a coffee cup.
So your character Peterman spent a lot of time on the show collecting things from all over the world to go in the catalog. You personally, what do you collect besides? Is there anything outside of the Seinfeld realm or things that you've done? Are you a collector in any way?
Well, I've been always fascinated by old golf memorabilia. I'm a golfer, and so I'm always fascinated by the antiquities in golf. So I have a few things that go back several hundred years when the game was truly brand new. And the ingenuity of golf design, of club design, I was fascinated. There are certain golf clubs that have holes cut out of the middle of the club because that's the club you use to hit your ball out of the water. Yeah, you didn't pull it out and take the penalty stroke. You played it as it lay. I don't care how deep it was. You were going to get it out of there.
When The Office hit Netflix, and brand new swarm of fans came from that for people that have never seen the show. What are your feelings on the show being on Netflix now and where it's going to go?
I think we're going to have a brand new swell of fans. You know, it's interesting. It's kind of a coming of age sitcom that once you hit a certain age, you end up with a lot of the same problems that the Seinfeld storylines were making fun of. And I think that's why it draws such a big audience. And in colleges, you know, people have binge watched the show and they gather for, you know, whenever it's on, they all gather together and watch an episode. So I think and I mean, I think the show is blessed with permanence. I think there's always going to be, and because the show was so well written, and it was about everyday minutia that we all go through, so that makes the show ultimately timeless.
So you've done everything from Seinfeld, from television to game shows, Family Feud, To Tell the Truth, cartoons, SpongeBob, your King Neptune, your Phineas and Ferb, your business investments that I've read that you're a part of, your composer. You're a composer. Like, you have done everything I could possibly imagine. What's next for you? Well, first, what's your favorite thing out of all the stuff that you've done, and what's next?
I've written several books that are bestsellers, and I enjoy writing a lot because I enjoy the impact that writing has. And it's always nice to see your name on the bestseller list. It's kind of a kick, I got to tell you. And the same thing with the music that I compose. They've been both on the Billboard charts, so I've been very fortunate there. And what's next for me? Well, I own a technology that takes any form of waste and turns it into large amounts of energy, and it does so without any emissions. The company is called Gold Seal Industries, and it's going to be a culture-changing technology which is so needed right now as we're concerned about global warming and things of that nature and the impact of our carbon footprints. This will help produce a zero carbon footprint around the world, as it will be able to take care of our issues with the plastics. It'll take care of agricultural manures and things of that nature, municipal solid waste. We zero out the need for landfills, for sewage treatment centers. All of that can go away. And so it's going to be coming on over the next year, and it's going to be a very exciting time and an exciting technology because, as I say, this will change the world.
That's incredible. I mean, to have again, go back to the plethora of all the things that you've done, and then to be a part of an industry that is going to, do better for our environment, for the world. I mean, that's just so awesome. When people see you around, what's the one thing that they always ask you? Is there an impersonation? Is there,
Oh, they always want to just say Elaine for me. Elaine, you're out on your patootie.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. Where can people find you?
I'm on Twitter at I'm John O'Hurley, and that's about where you find me, I guess.
And Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and this guy, if you've watched the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, you can't watch the show without hearing his voice, and then right after is the dog show.
The National Dog Show presented by Purina. This will be year number 20. We have the number one show on NBC. 32 million people watch it every year, and we'll end with woof woof.
My dog is the biggest fan. She actually sits and watches the entire thing. And so Thanksgiving around the corner, that's where you can find him. Thanks so much for watching today. Thank you for your time.
Great to be with you. Enjoy it.
Thanks so much to John O'Hurley again for taking the time to talk to us. So cool to meet him. Remember, we have our contest going on. You could win the Seinfeld Funko Mini-Mates diorama set. Click on the link below in the description and go back and watch our unboxing video from when we first got the diorama set in. Answer the question and you're entered to win. It's that easy, and this could be yours. Also, if you've been watching the show this weekend and you want to get some cool Funko Pops or memorabilia, when you buy any Seinfeld stuff over at ToyShnip.com, you're going to get a free Funko Seinfeld pin with your purchase. I'm Turco. Thanks so much for hanging out with us and watching. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on more fun from ToyShnip.com.